luxurious. They're very expensive. But the market has good service. Their staff members, they treat people with respect. They treat people, no, I didn't retract my greeting, Rissa. I can do that. The market staff members, they treat, and so for me, if I go there, it is because I get, you get good service when it comes to staffing there. They are always respectable, they're always manly, and they're always helpful. They were not like Solomon's today. The lady said to me, go to the back of the line. But listen to me. She didn't say it as rough as that. That's me. But it was off. When I tell you it was off, it was off. So, yeah, I'm going to say to you, and I'll say this. I don't know, the market might, somebody asked me why Miss Ansem, if they might be vexed with me. I said, well, they may be because, of course, I had done a broadcast and done a video when their worker had dropped off the truck and died, and the persons had complained that they had not really supported the worker during his medical situation and even after his passing. I don't know. But I did talk about the information that had been provided to me. That was the story. Watch Halls. Week before last Sunday, Cardero Anderson was in a traffic accident. And he works for Halls in Rock Sound. He is one of their long-standing employees. I don't know how long he's been, but he's been working there mostly from before he came out of school. I don't know, but he's working with them for a very long time. When they found out that Cardero was involved in an accident, Halls then broke the law with the speed they go on to trying to get to Wims's bike to make sure he was straight. They got there, they was knocking on the clinic door trying to make sure that their employee, this is big Sunday, they ain't have to be out there bad. They can say, oh, I know it's gonna. No, they showed concern, they showed care, they reached out, they broke their neck going down there to make sure that their employee, their dedicated employee, was straight. And that was the story that I had gotten about the employee that the market had allegedly abandoned. That he was a dedicated employee, that he was committed to the company, that everybody else knew him, that they and staff members were sort of shocked at how he was sort of dismissed and not really considered on that platform. Whereas Hall showed us how it's done. People are still talking about how they made their way down to Wims's bite to make sure that their dedicated employee was being handled well, that he was okay, that an emergency flight was there to assist him in getting out, all that other stuff. And it wasn't even a work, like under the Haitian situation with the market where this guy was at work allegedly when this incident happened. This boy wasn't at work. This is Sunday. He was celebrating his birthday, having a wonderful time. And Howard's them still make sure that this young man was well cared for. So I know if Miss Sands them still vex over that. It is what it is. I don't care. You'll get over it. Or, if you don't, who cares? It don't matter. Because guess what? Life goes on. One of the things I learned about Luther is these people generally don't hold nothing because they have some other things they got to be dealing with. So for those people who holding things, well, that on you. It is what it is. You know what? You know who ain't swelling up over it? Me. I probably should swell. I probably should, but I won't. I won't. So sorry. Anyhow, stick with who you know. You know Halls. You know the market. You know Dingles in Rock Sound. You know Yvette down here in Grand Castle. You know Bruce and Deep Creek. You know Elsie in Deep Creek. You know Ben Shop in Rock Sound, and Ben Shop, the people that are very pleasant, you know. So you have all these different, you know, Miss Rosalind in Rock Sound. You know, you have, so you, and then in Tampa Bay, you got the new store, you got, Boots, you got the Carries, you got, who else? Jason, definitely you got Jason. And so listen, stick with them. Don't abandon them for Solomon's in Governor's Harbor. Don't do that. Don't take advantage of that. Don't push them aside. You know you could depend on them. You know you could depend on Jason for the best prices. Jason, if you buy in the low, Jason can say, okay, give me this particular item. And let me show you something. I ain't just saying this on air. I walked into Jason's store before, and he had a gang of people waiting to serve them. And I would say, Jason, I only getting this item. Can I get this and leave, please? And he can say, okay, yeah, buy wise. That's correct. Buy wise, and the carries. You can't forget buy wise. You can't forget the carries. And I said to Jason, I need this item. Because I ain't getting them things, and I trying to go to work. And he can say, okay, oh yeah, that's 10.50, and I hand him the money and I go with my business. You understand what I'm saying to you? Because he knows his business, he knows his customer. So I said to Jason, I can just send you the money on my phone, and I send him his money. Garnet Brown, that's why I was saying Yvette. Garnet Brown. But when I was saying Yvette, I was referring to Garnet Brown and Greencastle. So you understand what I'm saying to you? I know about going to Brits and Birds, Birds always have a line of people who can serve you, and so you just pick one and they serve you, and they don't waste time. I know about going to the Carries right there, buy wise, and they don't waste time. You understand what I'm saying to you? And so this is your experience. And then I go to Solomon's, which is supposed to be more advanced than all of these, and the lady say, "Go to the back of the line." It is what it is. All right, don't abandon these people. All right, now let's move on. I've been on that subject a little bit too long. All right, Mary. There was a massive drug drop at Lighthouse Point. I don't know what they found, but there has been rumors about what was found. Somebody told me it was 32 kilos of cocaine. Now, the report that was made public didn't say nothing but no cocaine. I know about that. But that's what they say. Now, I got word from at least 2 employees from a major project up that way. 2 of them, 2 different, but I say no. But I got word from one specific and then from one who was not so specific about a major situation. Sunshine say I ain't got Solomon to piss on. Oh, Sunshine, I can pray for you. Anyhow. So I got two pieces of information. One from an employee of a major project down there, and one from somebody else. Thank you so much, Babalicious. Babalicious, thank you so much. Thank you so much for the gift on TikTok. I appreciate you very much. God bless you. Thank you so much. I got 2 stories. So one was from an employee, and one was from an employee once removed. All right. One employee said it was only marijuana. The other employee said it was cocaine. Right. So the stories vary. And then somebody else said to me today, no, it was all 2. So I know what it was. All I know is they find drugs down there at Lighthouse Point. It was floating in the water. I understand they had tourists out there. They had about 6,000 tourists on the cruise ship. I understand even the tourists is watching the dope. I don't know. That's what they tell me. Listen, I only can tell you what they tell me, all right? Anyhow, so, yeah, that's what they say. It is what it is. Hopefully, they get that situation sorted out, and whatever's supposed to happen with whatever was found is properly dealt with, all right? All right. Now, I need to apologize to the lady whose Jeep burned down yesterday. Somebody sent in the WhatsApp group that her son was allegedly driving this Jeep. They said he stole it from his mommy, and he crashed it and it burned. Now, I got the story today that the son was not allegedly driving the Jeep. Well, 2 stories. Some say the boy was driving the Jeep and the sister had well, first of all, let's clear this up. I understand the sister may have had the Jeep, but she was trying to get home before mommy get home. Right? Now, I don't know how true that is, but there's a sister, the brother, and 2 children in the backseat. I don't know. The Lord says I don't know. But that's the story. So, mommy, I apologize if I got the story wrong. They tell me that they lost control of the vehicle. It ran into a building and caught fire. Now, some persons are saying that it was the sister who was driving. Some persons are saying that it was the brother who was driving, but they wanted to substitute it for the sister because the brother has a situation where he's, I think, on probation or something like that before the courts now, until they don't want to get him any more trouble. So I don't know what the story is. That is what is alleged. I only telling y'all what the people telling me as they send information to me. But I apologize to the mother because we did not have it as fact. We only put the story out there, blah, 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 so forth and so on. And then, of course, that tied into something else because, the mom was just in court last week with another young lady. And the other young lady, she is believed to have been rejoicing over it because she is accusing mom of trying to force her to pay for some vehicle or something like that, and also accusing mom of putting her before the courts maliciously. And she ended up having to pay. And so to see mom end up losing her Jeep caused this woman to get into a tizzy. No, but you don't rejoice over people's downfall. You pray for them that all would go well in their lives. And by the same token, let's not do people wrong and expect to get by. Now, the old people used to say, you can't do wrong and get by no matter how hard you try. All right? So let's do better. All right? And live better lives. It is what it is. Now, moving on. They tell me Barry Islands is in trouble. Barry Islands is suffering. Barry Islands is being buried in garbage. Barry Islands is in a crisis. They sent me a video of Barry Islands in the garbage. I need to send that video. Good night from Utah. Thank you very much. Quincy, how you doing? Good to see you. We want to tell you about, so they tell me Barry Islands is really a hot mess. They say, and it's not just that. Barry Islands has a couple of things going on. So, first of all, they have too much garbage, and they don't know how to resolve the issue with the garbage in Barry Islands. Now, I understand Vaughn Miller was recently down there as the Minister of Environment, and he made some commitments to them, and none of the commitments were kept. Vaughn, what are you doing? I understand Vaughn was there. Joe Kobe Davis was there, Leonardo Lightburn was there, and they said somebody else, Dr. Dalva was there. So those four people were in the Barry Islands talking to hear themselves because nothing happened after they left, and the people of Barry Islands continue to suffer. So let me tell you how bad it is with Barry Islands. The country is in the garbage. The island, is in the garbage. Literally garbage everywhere. You need to see it to believe it. The dump site is overrun with garbage, and you know it's already a small island. Then their administrator's office has been, their post office, and their clinic have been condemned for over 20 years. So which means both the PLP and the FNM abandoned them for over 20 years. You understand what I'm saying to you? They messing. So these poor islands and these people are suffering on the Barry Islands. Hey, Pastor Garth Roseburrows. Garth Maynard Roseburrows was my pastor many, many years ago. He baptized me in Adventist church. Now, neither me nor Garth goes to the Adventist church. Garth, my mother became an Adventist. Anyway, let me continue to tell you all what happened with Barry Islands. Barry Islands is catching eternal hell. So they have no administrator's office, no post office, no clinic. These are simple, essential services that these islands should have had. They had 4 persons visit them. Leonardo Lightburn, Vaughn Miller, Chobet Kobe Davis, and Dr. Michael Darwell. That was months ago, over 6 months ago, and not one thing has happened. Now the question for me is, Barry Islands, you see how you've been abandoned. Are you going to continue to support the failures of these existing institutions, the PLP and the FNM? Because both of them have abandoned you if the very buildings that you use have been condemned for over 20 years, leaving you in the position that you're in now. Or you're gonna comfortably wait for them to make more promises, and you vote for them to continue to lie to you. What you gonna do? What you gonna do, Barry Islands? Make up your mind. Tell me what you gonna do. I can put the videos out. I'm gonna put the videos up on my profile for the people to see. I'm gonna put them on the TikTok broadcast. I'm gonna put them inside the WhatsApp chat for people to see. And for those who are not a part of the WhatsApp chat, the WhatsApp number is 242-473-8566. Send us a message and say, I want to be a part of the WhatsApp chat. But that's a disaster. Can you imagine that? For 20 years, your clinic is condemned, your post office is condemned, your administrator's office is condemned, and your island is drowning in garbage? Can you imagine that? And you get people coming there, making themselves look good, and leaving you in the same mess where they meet you? Can you imagine that? What's the point of that flight? That was only a flight for entertainment purposes, to take advantage of Barry Islands, to see what slackness they can indulge down there. Because obviously, ain't nothing changed, and they ain't trying to fix nothing, and ain't nothing resolved. But if you listen to the Prime Minister, and if you listen to other persons within the PLP, you'll swear everything is hunky-dory, all is good, all is perfect, and the country is doing exceptionally well, and everything is resolved. Meanwhile, the people of Berry Island continue to suffer. Make that make sense. 20 years on without essential services? Anyhow, you can pray for Berry Island, and I can put those videos out. All right? Let's move on. The road project is going along in Eleuthera. We carry on real bad 2 Saturdays ago. Saturday last and Saturday past. So, this week, after we remind them that they had not done any work in thank you King Forbes. After we reminded them that they had not done any work on the Waterford Road from last year. They dig up the whole road and they ain't do nothing on the last year. They ain't do nothing on it. They did nothing with it from last year. They dug the road up in Waterford and did nothing with it from last year. After the last video that we did got 10,000 views almost right away, and we were talking about it because we hammered on what was happening with the road, and they quickly got in, and in the last 3 days, it took them literally 3 days to pave almost all of that roadway, going all the way almost up to Green Castle. 3 days. Less, actually. Because, let me tell you why. I passed on that road on Thursday or Wednesday. Thursday. And I passed there. And nothing was being done, right? Either Thursday or Wednesday. And when I passed there, nothing was being done. But let me tell you what was happening. There were the Spanish fellas were out, you know. There was not one Bahamian employee out there. Not one. And I saw, nobody's telling me, because I watched it for a little bit. I watched it for a little bit, and I realized not one Bahamian employee was there. It was only the Spanish fellas. And here's the thing. When I passed through, none of the Spanish fellas were working. And something happened that resulted in me having to go back into this area. And still when I passed through the area, I was riding with someone, and I said to them, do you see what I see? Because all of this happened in that day. I said, do you see what I see? And they said, what do you mean? I say, tell me what you see. They said the workers are not working. They looked right at it and said, the Spanish workers, the workers who are out here are not working. None of them are working. Everybody but that morning when I saw them, they were standing around and stuff like that. When we went back into the area, they were not even there and they were not working. Here's the thing. When I checked stock with somebody who's employed there, they said, yeah, the Bahamians were told to go home and the Spanish workers are allowed to come to work and they are being paid. So they sent the Bahamians home, they kept the Spanish workers at work, they paid the Spanish workers, and the Bahamians workers didn't get paid because they were sent home. That's how Bahamians have continued to be treated in this country. What we could do? Because this is a disaster. This is an honest, and you know what? It's a hot mess. I know how else we can fix this, but we are in a disastrous state of affairs in this country. You understand? Now they rush because they know TMI is going to be on tonight, and I can say the road fixing. They fixing the road. They fixing the road. Yeah, they may be swinging our workers and doing the Bahamians bad, but they fixing the road. They paving them. They paved the day and all. Pave a big piece. But we can continue to carry on. We ain't gonna level that upon them. They getting $180 million worth of our money. To have workers standing up doing absolutely nothing. Foreign workers and getting paid while you send the Bahamian workers home. And this ain't what nobody tell me. This is what I see myself. $180 million. To have foreign workers standing around doing absolutely nothing while you send the Bahamian workers home. I saw it. But it is what it is. Anyhow, let's move on. So the Royal Bahamas Police Force is in an embarrassing state of affairs again. Because God don't sleep and God don't slumber. Oh no, he don't. He don't. He ain't sleeping. Listen. I still got my cases going on. My case continues, all my cases continue until October 27th. And as long as my case continues, the Royal Bahamas Police Force will always be in trouble. Always. Worse trouble than before they mess with me. Because God don't play about me. Now, my wife ain't standing my bail no more. Another lady is standing my bail. My wife done get her cash, thank God. Well, no, I know she get her cash yet. They're supposed to give her cash this week. I hope they give her cash because she originally stood cash bail for me. But another lady took it over after she relinquished that position. So, another lady has me, is a charter for me. You understand what I'm saying to you? But I have these cases going on, and I'm going to be in court until October 27th, because October 27th is when they're going to finally deal with my cases. But while they're waiting to deal with my cases, the Royal Bahamas Police Force is going to rot, because God don't sleep and God don't slumber. You understand what I'm saying to you? Now, let me take this a little bit further for you and tell you what else is going on. So another recording has come out. And this time, the recording is of Alcott Forbes, and allegedly saying how he can shoot the express the head off if he didn't walk on the airport, and all kind of things he was saying in this recording. That's different from basically bragging about behaving like a god-danged criminal while on the Royal Bahamas Police Force, and then people want to get vexed with me when I say that the Royal Bahamas Police Force is the biggest gang in the Bahamas. Did I say that? I don't know if I said that. I need to say. I did a show where I talked about the biggest gang in the Bahamas. I don't remember if I distinctly said it was the Royal Bahamas Police Force, but Royal Bahamas Police, they wrote a law to deal with gangs. But you need to deal with the Royal Bahamas Police Force, because when you listen to this language that has resulted in the Commissioner of Police having to suspend a senior officer, the only thing that you can conclude is that these are gangsters. You understand? It is what it is. Because these things are coming at you fast. Coming at you quickly. What can you do about it? He's literally, allegedly, on a broadcast, on a voice recording, saying how he would have shoot the inspector. How they watching the thing and doing the thing, whatever the hell they was doing. And Chanta knows he ain't waste no time, because she is not foolish like Clayton Fernanda. Chanta's smarter than Clayton. Shanta suspend him at speed. Shanta suspend this nigga so fast, he turn around and tell the people he can sue her if she don't give him his job back. What job, Nick? Bro, you need to go sit down. Sit down. You lucky you being entertained. Because once that language and that voice and that stuff come out, you need to go about your business. You ought not to be nowhere around the institution making no noise. But see, there are some crooked people who have been given life and voice and fervor and energy to these crooks who are taking advantage of our institutions and taking advantage of our people and killing our sons. Here's come out. I don't understand. We just talk about Cordell. What's his name? Go get that book for me. He's talking, I think, Cordell Farrington, who to kill all them boys, right? In Grand Bahama. I think it was Cordell. The little package man. Oh, pass it for me. Pass it. He's talking about Cordell Farrington, who killed all of the boys. Right? I'm going to show you something. Now, Cordell did his share. But he ain't killed as much as the police. And some people who they're involved with, and you have some other people who, you understand what I'm saying? Serial killer. But the police force, if they don't get it together, will be recognized as a serial killing institution. Because they've gotten rid of more of our sons than any serial killer that has hit this road. For whatever reason. Understand? The coroner's court is finally working out on matters that they had years to resolve and look into, and they didn't look into it. Anyhow. there's a book called Cordon Off. And this book basically is a fiction version of the Cordell Farrington incident. And the book is written by Carissa Street. Carissa Street from Grand Bahama sent me this book. Let me tell you, oh crap. Let me tell you, this book talks about the murder of the boys in Grand Bahama, and you really need to read it. It's a good book. I started to go over it today, but I actually got it directly from the author, or from the author. I got it from Carissa Street. The book is called Cordon Off. You need to get this book, and you gotta read it. All right? And she sent me a goodie bag, because there are certain things. See, I got it here. She sent me a goodie bag, Carissa Street, you can see it. And the goodie bag actually has some stuff that I have to, some envelopes and different things that I have to open along with the, as I read different chapters of the book. All right, she sent me like, so this. Now this looks like a bag of candy. And this is supposed, this, I have to open this when I reach to page 30 of the book. And then she sent me another envelope, and I have to open this when I reach to the end of the book. And then she sent me, this is from Carissa Street now. I remember Carissa Street. And her address is author Carissa Street at gmail.com. So author Carissa Street at gmail.com. You can reach out to her to find out. I can read the letter that she sent me, and then I can go into these, finish talking about these police crooks. And she sent me this one here. I gotta open this at page 97. Open at page 97, right? But she talks about her book is a fiction story about the murders of the young men in Grand Bahama perpetrated by Cordell Farrington. Somebody need to write a book about the Royal Bahamas Police Force. But let me read the letter from Carissa. Carissa says, Dear reader, thank you for accepting the enclosed book to review, because I got to review this book. It says, written as a true crime fiction, this body of work is loosely based on the case of the 5 missing boys, which unfolded in 2003 on Grand Bahama Island. The names have been changed and scenes dramatized for fictional purposes. Interviews, dark places, and newspaper articles were sought to bring the piece to fruition. This interactive novel allows you to follow along with the story and experience the characters in real time. Be careful not to open the gifts ahead of reading the corresponding pages. Cordon Off is available on Amazon in hardback, paperback, as a Kindle ebook, and Kindle Unlimited. Yours sincerely, Carissa. See, Carissa, from Carissa. So I got it from the author of the book. You gotta find this. Listen, go on Amazon and look for this book called Cordon Off by Carissa Street. That's see her name there at the bottom, Carissa Street. Cordon Off by Carissa Street. Now, she is talking about the situation with Cordell Farrington and what Cordell Farrington has done in relation to young men in this country. But we got some real drama going on. We had a situation where 6 young men from our Bahama land walked out of a station in Nassau and all died in a shooting. But how did the killers know that all of them were at that station, all of them would come out, and all of them would be available for to be murdered at that particular time? Then we have this case with Alcott Forbes, who just won his case. He just won a case in coroner's court because they said his killing, along with others, of 3 young men was fully justified. This is what the court say. This is how they rule. But here's the thing. Something came up in that particular case too. Let me tell you what came up in that case. There was a question of ballistics, because there's a photo of a high-powered bullet that was fired into that car, killing those young men. Okay? The ballistics person said, this is a problem. Now, I don't know what stunt they pulled, but they got the ballistics person to change his story and say he made a mistake. Now, if you're working for these people and your life is in danger, or your family life is in danger, or somebody's under threat, or they can lock up somebody or criminalize somebody to make you testify what they want to testify, that is very possible. But the ballistics man originally said there was a high-powered weapon that was on the outside of this, a high-powered rifle round that was on the outside of this car during the shooting from a weapon that was not issued to police. Hello. And then the next day, he changed that story. And then the next day, Alcott those were found not guilty. 3 officers. I posted the videos in TMI. If I didn't post it, at least one of the administrators posted the videos. Posted the actual news reports about them talking about the ballistics, about the questioning or the concern with regard to the discrepancy related to the ballistics report. That's in the TMI, what was posted in the TMI WhatsApp group. You understand what I'm saying to you? This man say one thing and then say something else, and then they say, oh, it's a mistake. But God don't sleep and God don't slumber. See, Alcott, he just get off that case, and now look at him, suspended. Because God ain't finished with you, Alcott, and whoever else with you. God can deal with y'all. Y'all can try and pull whatever stunt y'all want to pull. God can destroy y'all. It is what it is. He's suspended, and Shantae ain't wasting no time. And Shantae ain't getting herself involved in a situation where she can be at fault. Meanwhile, those officers, the defense force and the police officer in the U.S. who are under indictment by the Southern District of New York have been singing like canaries. They have signed or allegedly are in the process of signing plea deals. Even though Brave Davis come and say, oh, I believe Dave was entrapped because Brave Davis was smoking that peace pipe and talking foolishness. They are allegedly in the process of signing plea deals, and they have given up some information. And I understand some executives in this country, government officials, have been instructed by the U.S. government to demit office by November of this year. So let's wait and see what happens. Let's wait and see. It's going to be interesting to see. These are a bunch of criminals. But it is what it is. Let's move on. This nomination battle in Saudi Lucha is carrying on real bad. They tell me Hubert Ingram was here 2 weeks ago. Now I understand, Hubert Ingram is on the candidates committee. He's a meritorious council member and he's a former prime minister. I understand that Hank is eliminated. They're not going to give Hank the nomination at all for Saudi Lucha. That's it and that's all. Gone. So now that leaves Philippa, and I understand that the persons in Eleuthera throw Philippa under the bus. So we're waiting to see how that plays out. So that leaves now William Hunt. They're still fighting for William Hunt. So they're trying to challenge William because they say William can't speak. But the party wants to hang on to William because they know William is a man who likes to get things done. He will spend money. He will do whatever needs to happen to make sure that things work out. And so there's a battle with William Hunt and it's a battle with Cassius Stewart. Now, you have some persons who are fighting for Cassius Stewart. They want to put Cassius Stewart as the candidate for Saudi Lutra. Unless anybody else has any say about it. Now, it's going to be interesting to see how that plays out. Mr. Hunt is going to run whether he gets the F&M nomination or not. I don't know what Philippa is doing, but I know Mr. Hunt is going to run whether he gets the F&M nomination or not. So if the F&M don't support him, he can still run anyway. He'll just run with a different party. It is what it is. Hopefully he gets an F&M nomination. The situation with Philippa is going to be interesting to see how that plays out. Cassius Stewart is getting this because persons have, they've raised different concerns about Cassius. My support of Hunt is because Hunt has been here from March. Before anybody else was talking about running, Hunt came down here and talked to me. Philippa also spoke to me. As a matter of fact, she came right after. Not right after, but they had this. What caused me and her to connect was after they had this situation with the Savannah Sound Communage, and I was very impressed with her then. Stuart, we ended up talking 1 or 2 times, but we never really engaged like that. I still do want to conduct an interview with him. I want to conduct another interview with Hunt, and I definitely want to conduct an interview with Philippa. We'll see how this goes, but I understand Hubert Ingram is in this all over, trying to wield his hand as he also prepares to challenge Michael Pintard for the leadership of the Free National Movement. So it's going to be interesting to see how this plays out. Some persons are saying that Hubert Ingram is Michael Pintard is a lackey for Hubert Ingram. I don't know that that's entirely true, but it is what it is. Yeah. All right. Anyhow, let's move on. I got to move quick. I got 2 phone calls with regard to the Sissy Pastor saga. The Sissy Pastor saga that has been taking place. You all know Brittany Harris and Omar Archer been ragging Trent Davis, the Major man, Alcott Major, whatever his name is. They've been ragging a couple others. They've been ragging some people about there's this major sex scandal going on in the church. This the Sissy scandal. And so I got 2 calls. The first call I got was last Sunday from Dwight Umbrister, because Dwight Umbrister is the pastor who wrote that letter about Trent Davis and the skullduggery business that was going on in Golden Gates. Dwight was upset, well, not upset, because he didn't talk to me angrily, but he was annoyed that he said, I was making them look bad because, and really and truly, he said it's because of him and others like him that I was able to get the information that I got. That I was able to get the Rico saying, come need to go sit his old ass down. I get that. Dwight said, I got that information because of his work. I said, yeah, Dwight, but my problem is 6 years, Dwight? 6 years with this letter and you're just getting it to the public? Dwight said, no, Marvin. We did what we were supposed to do. He said, as a matter of fact, you can go and see the Supreme Court ruling on that Trent Davis is not supposed to be the pastor, but the church and his dad and others worked along to force him on the church. And so that was why Dwight and many other persons left Golden Gates Church. But unfortunately, they still have a lot of people at Golden Gates who still support the sissyism and the gayism and the sexism with the young men in the church. So it is what it is. And we've been hearing lots of horror stories. It is what it is, allegedly. Yeah, and so you have some of these. Listen, I can tell you all something. I've been putting on my TikTok some of the clips and the videos from Brittany Harris, and you need to see some responses from some people who are supporting the sissyism. If you go and you read some of the comments, you will know on my TikTok videos, you will know exactly which house not to let your child go to. Because we have some monsters in this country, men and women, who see nothing wrong with pastors taking advantage of children. Take it from me. Go on my comments on the TikTok and read the comments from some of them people. You wouldn't believe it. There might be some people you know who are just nasty and have no kind of heart or feeling for children, and they don't care. As long as they pastor straight, they will support, and they supporting this sissyism and nastiness and the destruction of the church. You hear what I'm saying to you? I was baffled when I saw some of the comments. And they carrying on like it's Brittany is the problem. Brittany only explores what was ever going on. Do I tell me he write the letter? You understand what I'm saying to you? And he tell me they went to court. And he also told me, he said, Marvin, go online because all the information is online. He said also go online because the information about why Trent Davis' wife divorced him is online. He said, it's all there online because the U.S. have it open online. Why? He says, just go there and search it. I ain't search it. I ain't going online and search it. But I'm saying to you, it was baffling to me to see that people know what is happening and they are indulging this stuff. And they're comfortable to, bold enough to come on under the post and comment Oh, well, what happened? He tried to molest her little boy, and they were running on. Listen, some of the comments I wouldn't even read them. They running on with the most crap. You understand what I'm saying to you? But Dwight called me. Dwight talked to me. And Dwight explained to me. Dwight said, I'm on apology. Dwight, I ain't apologizing to you. No, I'm not apologizing, Dwight. I feel y'all could have done more. I hear you, and I understand you, and I appreciate your fight, but I still feel Dwight Toes could have done more. That's just my personal view. You understand? And I commend him for all that he has done in trying to expose this sick situation going on in the church. And I'm disappointed that the Christian Council has not acted and shut that whole place down. They could get everywhere, in everybody's business, in politics, and this, that, and that, but they cannot preach against a church in this country where the bishop is practicing homosexuality on the little boys in the church. Where the Christian Council now? They gone to battle cruise ship because the sissies was coming on the cruise. It had nothing to do with the church. Wasn't threatening to go to that church. And they was out there and watching the sissies on the cruise ship and making noise. But now you have sissyism in the middle of the church. And not a Christian council. Not a one. Huh? None. Make that make sense. And then y'all won't get vexed because Brittany Harris says people need to boycott the church. But this is a problem for me because now I have to wonder if I say to you, no, you shouldn't boycott the church. Am I now putting you in a position where you or your children can become victims of a sissy pastor? Or a disgusting pastor? Am I now making you... We got this one with Glendon Roll. The boy got Glendon initials tattooed on his back, along with them bunch of spots. The pastor name tattooed on the boy back. What kind of thing is this in this country? Huh? And everybody getting vexed. The pastor name tattooed on the boy back. What you could say? What do you think was going on? And people want to be vexed with Brittany. How would you feel to know that some pastor's name is tattooed on your son's back? Huh? How would you feel to know that some pastor's name is tattooed on your child? Huh? How you feel? You don't see that as the work of the devil? And then they won't come at me. Brittany crazy. I crazy. How you feel? Your son who you expecting to get 2 grandchildren from. Instead of he putting the thing out, somebody putting it in him and got him tattooing their name on his back. What kind of foolishness is that? And people getting vexed with Brittany. Like Brittany's the problem. Huh? How you feel? To know when they say bend over, your son bending over? How you feel? How you feel to know when it's time to kneel, instead of your son kneeling for Jesus, he kneeling in front of his pastor? How you feel? Because somebody need to wake up and catch sense. Anyhow, Dwight called me. And I appreciate Dwight for calling me, and I tell Dwight send me whatever he need to send me. He ain't send me nothing yet. So, it is what it is. But the guy do better. It's a whole disaster. All right? Anyway, let's move on. I got another call. The other call. Sweet lips say, I have a son, Marvin. God will have to come down for me to stop me. Trust me. Trust me. Say it again. It's a disgrace. And I tell you, look under the comments in the TikTok videos, and you will see whose house not to let your children go to. You have some nasty, depraved, disgusting, miserable, disgraceful people in this country who are supporting some stuff in these churches who ought not. You know what? I want to say some bad things, but I can't say it because they might block my account. But anyhow, the second person that called me, I can't call his name, but he's a young man I know years ago, and I know him from the Church of God of Prophecy. When I was doing my live recordings, doing the Bible readings, I saw this young man. I thought, at first I wasn't sure, but I saw him on the broadcast singing in the praise and worship with Trent Davis them. And I say, this young man, I know this young man is a staunch Church of God of Prophecy man. And so I was shocked, but sure enough, he called me. And when he called me, he started to speak to me about the videos on my TikTok page in regard to and stuff. And he said, how you could be a part of this? And I said, son, you see what's going on? And then I say, and this boy started justifying Trent Davis. I really believe Trent used this boy. Yeah, Trent used this Church of God of Prophecy boy. And got this Church of God of Prophecy boy talking all kind of foolishness. Either he juiced him or he had him eating behind. And so the boy talking a bunch of S. Because the boy talking more foolishness. I say, son, what did they do to you? How you let them get you there? I say, boy, the boy tell me, all have sinned and come short of the glory of God. I said, absolutely. I said, I myself am not perfect. I said, but son, we are in a situation where this is a crisis in the church. I said, the Bible says judgment shall begin in the house of the Lord. The boy say, oh, so you is God now? I say, I didn't say I am God. I said, the Bible says judgment shall begin in the house of the Lord. The boy